One. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Adawakadash. Double honors unto the elder apostles at Great Millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. And shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Shalom. Right. So, I'm just going to start it off right now. There's a lot of things going on in the media right now. I mean, the news, sorry. Even the media news, the commercial news and stuff like that concerning, what's going on with the tariff wars. And these are all basically rumors of wars sparkling and dwindling in the midst of the Edomites right now amongst each other with the heathen nations, like China and Iran, which they want to go into. They want to invade because they want America to have that tariff system, which made them great in the first place because they used to tax people. Now, these heathen nations, they'd be like, what? You want to put taxes since? They want to put tariffs, which are basically taxes. You want to do that? Oh, we got that power too. Isaiah chapter 14, verse, because it says right here, right, the prophecies are flying left and right, man. You can't barely keep up. There's so many. On this channel, I'll just focus on current things, Lord willing. It depends on what the Spirit goes into, what I feel like at that time. If I feel the Spirit hit me like this, then I'm going to talk about this. And if I feel the Spirit hit me like that, then I'm going to talk about that. But, being occupied in the spirit of prophecy is actually of Yahushua. Because we are in a time of prophecy right now, And on the other channel, I just want to do just breakdowns of individual chapters and stuff like that. But what was I saying? It was, Isaiah 14. Right, Isaiah 14 and, let me see. Isaiah 14 and 10. It says here, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Right, because the heathen nation is going to be like, what? You as weak as us, because now we have them nuclear missiles too. You can't just bully us anymore like you did back in the days and stuff like that when we didn't have all this military technological advances and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't have that back in the days, but now these heathen nations do have it. So what's going to happen? They're going to resist. They're going to start resisting. That's when you start get up on your feet. For example, let's say you live at a person's house and the person is very bad towards you, right? Once you get up on your feet, you can start, I ain't taking your shit, and then you get the fuck out of there. But if you are dependent on another person, you can't talk tough to them. You can't just leave and stuff like that. Well, that's happening with the heathen nations right now compared to America, against America. They're standing up on their two feet. So Isaiah 14 and 11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. You're as good as dead. You're as good as dead is what the nations are saying to America's economy and their system. Their system of continual bullying, the system of continual destroying and oppressing. But Trump, he's one of them funny liars. He's saying that the nations have been actually exploiting them. When? They're lying to you. They have been exploiting nations from left to right. I'm going to give you an example. In South America, they built South America, certain countries in South America. They didn't build up, let me say it better. They built, not railroad system, they built systems of roads only for the benefit of going in there, taking the mineral resources and getting back out there. That's the only reason that they built these so-called infrastructures and so-called roads and stuff like that. Meanwhile, the lands where they live at, they have everything decked out. You got villages, you got neighborhoods, you got towns, you got metropolises, nowadays you got 15-minute cities, which on paper and in mindset, it's very comfortable and stuff like that. You don't have to travel a lot. You don't need a lot of cars and stuff like that, the pollution, unless you go somewhere far. But I'm talking about being in your own neighborhood when you go to the supermarket and stuff like that. You don't need a lot of big things. You could just go down there, buy what you need, get back to your home, and do that then perpetually. And people are actually, I would be satisfied with it, but I know what Esau's doing. You know what I'm saying? I know what Esau's doing, and this is not being about comfortable and stuff like that. Nor satisfied. This is about basically showing you that Esau comes with it peace and safety, and then after or something, and then after that, sudden destruction will come upon you, man. You know, so we're warning the Jacob descendants not to fall for that okie dokie trick. Meaning, for example, that trick of peace and prosperity, peace and safety. So let me hit a few scriptures over here. Now this is because we're in a time of prophecy right now. You know, all the things that are happening right now is all prophesied in the scriptures, and then talk about it. Luke chapter 10 verse 16. He that heareth you heareth me, and he that despiseth you despiseth me, and he that despiseth me despiseth him that sent me. That shows you that Yahweh Shai was sent. You know, and also that if you despise the word of the man that come and talk his words, preach his words, say his words, repeat his words, then you hate Yahweh Shai. You know, that's like a king coming to you and telling you that's like a messenger of the king coming to you and telling you something brutal, like, hey man, the king's gonna do this to you and do that to you, and then you want to get angry at him. He's not saying it, he's bringing the message. Most of the time people get angry at the messenger. You know, there's this movie from 2024, it says Kill the Messenger or something like that, which is a movie about Gary Webb, if I'm correct. And it's a movie about how the drugs came into the Americas, which is the CIA brought it in and stuff like that, you know, which is, yeah, you should watch the movie. It's called, I just said it, Kill the Messenger, 2014, right? With that guy that used to play in the movie Born. If you watch that movie, you will see how the CIA brought it, and it's based on a true story. And the journalist, they murdered him, but they said that he shot himself 2 times in the head with a gun. You know, that's what they say. That's not true, and you should know that, because they're lying to you. But the point is, the fact that they're bringing it out there shows you that you can't stop them. And second, nobody can stop them. And third, well, that's actually first. And second is, even though they tell you what they did, basically they don't tell you. They hint you. If I say like, hey man, I was in the house and nobody else was there, and she got popped up with 2 bullets in her head, or he. Who did it? Me. I was the only one there, you know. And we had something with each other too, like a scuffle or something like that, days before, weeks before, and all that type of stuff. And nobody else. Gary Webb had a trouble with the CIA and the government, and he brought out their story as a real journalist, and that, not a news anchor. A news anchor reads teleprompters and reads what they tell them to say. That's a news anchor. You know, they just read teleprompters. But a journalist goes out there, does study, comes back and gives the story, right? And then people is not going to like that story, because that story is the truth, especially if you're a criminal and you're trying to hide your enterprise or your empire or whatever. In this case, it was the government. They was trying to hide it, but he brought it out, and now everybody knows. But what are you going to do about it? You ain't going to do nothing, because you can't stop saying it. That's what we need, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? So Luke chapter 10 verse 17, it says here, and the 70th returned again with joy, saying, Lord, even the devils are subject unto us through thy name. Because they was glorying in that, you know. So verse 16, and he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning falling from heaven. That's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan or the spiritual angel, like the actual angel Satan. That's talking about Esau and his society right now, because in the book of Isaiah 14, it explains to you that the ancient king of Babylon was called Lucifer, because he was enlightened, he was wise. And if you check out Nebuchadnezzar in the book of Daniel chapter 4, you would see how extremely wise he was. And then afterward, after the Most High cursed him and made him stupid, he actually got his conscience back, and then he got even more blessings. Let me show you that one real quick. And basically this is Esau, because Esau was dumbed down as a nation. Then they went into the caves, they got real stupid, and then they came out the caves and he was brighter than ever before. It's like he went through a so-called ritual. I'm saying an example. He went through a so-called ritualistic transformation, and then when he came out, he was even stronger than he was before. You know. So Daniel chapter 4, and that happened to the individual man named Nebuchadnezzar, but that happened to the elites of Esau. Job chapter 9 verse 24. Right. The elites of Israel, the ones that rule the world. Now Daniel chapter the 4th verse 34. And at the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up mine eyes unto heaven, and mine understanding returned unto me. Because if you read like 2 verses above, so if those 2 verses above, not two, just 2 verses above, both of them, if you read there, you will see that the Most High dumped them down, made them crawl on the ground like a beast, started plucking off feathers instead of hair. He became a chicken, like a bird, you know. And it says, and my understanding returned unto me, and I blessed the Most High, and I praised and honored him that liveth forever. And now he started worshiping the Most High, because he was talking bad, you know, and honored him, okay, whose dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from generation to generation. And all the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing, and he doeth according to his will in the army of heaven, and among the inhabitants of the earth, and none can stay his hand or say unto him, what doest thou? Because that is what he was doing. Because he was like, I'm gonna stop you. That didn't work out. Or I'm gonna make you do. Oh no, that's not happening. Verse 36. At the same time, my reason returned unto me, and the glory of my kingdom. Mine honor and brightness returned unto me, and my counselors and my lords sought unto me. I was established in my kingdom, and here it comes, an excellent majesty was added unto me. So he became a little bit greater than he already was, because he turned back to Yahweh Bashem. Well, he started recognizing and worshiping the Most High, like, no, you're the real power. All these other things is nothing. But that's not what Esau did. He didn't turn to the Most High. That's one of the reasons why he's going to get exterminated. But my point is that Esau was dumbed down, brought back into the caves. No, brought into the caves, not back into the caves. Brought into the caves, lost his knowledge, lost his ability to speak, walk upright, math, anything and everything. Bathe. They don't do that until this day. But anyway, all this there type of crazy stuff and stuff like that Esau as a nation went through, and then when they came out, they was double as more powerful as they was back then. Because now their witchcraft was like superior compared to the witchcraft of the heathen nations. I have videos. Let me put that before I forget it. Technology. I got videos where Esau admits that he has the technology that teleports things and stuff like that from one place to another place within an hour or something like that, man. This type of technology is what Esau has behind the scenes, but he's not actually telling the people. You know, he's making you buy weak ass. He has the technology that, you know, wisdom shall increase. He has the technology that you can have a phone, right, and not have to charge it, man. It would be perpetually, just forever. It just stays there like that. You know, this is the type of technology the Jacob descendants are gonna get and are gonna actually have up in this world, man. You know, but Esau is not here to make us feel good about living in this world. He's here to make you angry. He's here to make you feel bad, and all that type of stuff, right? And you can catch that in the book of Jeremiah 24. Jeremiah 24 and 9, and also Proverbs chapter 29 and 2. So Jeremiah 24 and 9, and I will deliver them to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth for their hurt. So you're not here to actually feel good about yourself. You're not here to actually feel beautiful and all that type of stuff. Because the book of Lamentation chapter 2 tells you that the Jacob descendants were called the city of beauty, the city of perfection. Not anymore. Right? Lamentation chapter 2 verse, let me see, 15. All that passed by clapped their hands at thee. They hissed and wagged their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? Right, because that is what the Jacob descendants were, even in the eyes of the heathen nations that don't like you. You know what I'm saying? They still call you the city of perfection. They still call you the city of beauty. But they hate your guts. You know what I'm saying? So, Verse 16, all thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnag the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we look for. We have found, we have seen. They've been waiting for the Jacob descendants to fall since back then. So now that we're down on the ground, they want to keep us down by having all these distractions up in the planet Earth, like whatever games and movies and especially females, you know, because they know that everybody is fixated on them. Even females are fixated on females. And I'm not talking about them carpet munchers, the ones that grind on the ground. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about women always look at other women like, man, I want to look like her. I want to follow her. Or she's my model. Because a model means something that you actually want to model yourself after. Like these catwalk females and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Which they call models nowadays, which Esau wants you to model yourself after that. But you can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. So they're gonna get a group of people to follow after those type of things, and then they're gonna have a group of other people following after other things. Like, okay, we can get you to follow after these skinny models and stuff like that. Okay, we're gonna get you to follow after these other females that do plastic surgery. Okay, then we have a group over there. Let's say you have like 1 million people, right? Then you split it in 4. 250, 250, 250, 250, right? 1 million people. And then you have like 250,000 over there. You can't catch them all with the same thing because not everybody has the same taste. So you catch 250, that group, you let them focus on, you know, trying to be skinny and models and stuff like that. So the other 750,000, you can't get them. So now you're going to go to the 250, you get that group to follow after, you know, so-called body positivity, trying to make yourself fat. Okay, then you got those. And then you got the other ones, for example, you're going to catch them with plastic surgery or stuff like that. And you got those. And then you go focus on the 200 and other 50,000, sorry, something is, right? Under that other, you know, part of the, you know, the 1 million. And then you go focus on them. And then you're going to push out stuff like veganism or something like that, you know? So basically, that's how you basically destroy and distract and destroy, I should say. Distract and destroy the people, because now they're going to be focusing on other things. Because if you don't have them with the distraction, then they're going to start focusing on their life. They're going to start focusing on the society and stuff like that, and above all, on the government. They're going to start focusing on the government, and you don't want that if you are the government. Why? Because they're going to start being like, hey, wait a minute, this is too expensive, this is too this, and this is too that. So, I'm not filming you. So he was scared. But anyway, so he was, what was I saying? So I was, so basically they're going to, you know, start fighting against the government, and you don't want that. If you are the government, you would want the people to have their bread and circus so that you can steal from them and remain on the top and make them even more poor. That's what all the empire has been doing before this empire. So the things that they're doing right now, it ain't nothing new. It's some old things from the old school days, and nowadays it's actually being brought back because kingdoms and empires are reincarnated and throughout time. You know, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 explains that. You know, but anyway, let me go on now. Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Right, because a lot of people are mourning right now because, you know, the money system ain't good. Your money is not being raised and stuff like that. The rent is getting higher. The houses is getting more expensive. Even renting. You know, I rarely know young couples and stuff like that that they have a house, that they bought houses and stuff like that. You know, you don't have that anymore, and you used to have that back in the days, but nowadays they can't afford it, right? Anyway, so Jeremiah 24:9. Oh yeah, I already read that. Right, so going back to Luke. Luke chapter 10, verse 18. And he said, okay, already read that? Yeah, let me read it again. Luke chapter 10, 18. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. As Esau is in his power right now, the word Satan means adversary. So who's the adversary of the earth? I'll give you 3 hints. They destroy the water that you drink. The three essential things needed to sustain life itself: water with fluoride, food with GMO, and air with chemtrails. There's many more things, but basically the pollution of the three things essential to sustain life itself. Without those three things, people are gonna die. You don't have air, you die. You don't have food, you die. You don't have water, you die. You know what I'm saying? Nobody needs Coca-Cola. You need water. Nobody needs a fancy McDonald's and stuff like that. That's not even fancy, but I mean like five-star restaurants. You don't need that. All you need is food. That's why they put stuff in the bread to where you think you got hay fever. Yo, no. You're being poisoned. If you stop eating that shit over there, you're gonna start noticing like, wait a minute. Oh, so is the food. So as soon as I eat that, I start to get like all these crazy things. I'll be like, wait a minute, what's in the food? And you read the back of the package or the drink, and then you start looking up things, and you'd be like, damn, how is this allowed? Ezekiel chapter 4, which shows you that the children of Israel shall eat their bed defiled among the heathen. That's what's happening right now. But Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, eventually he's going to protect you. Once that time comes, he's going to protect his elect, his chosen ones. Mark 16, they shall eat poison and not die, and live, and all that type of stuff. If you, like I said, if you go to the supermarkets, any one of them, they got a rapeseed oil. They call it coal seed oil too, or cool seed oil. They got all these type of. You'd be like, why is this thing in everything? Because that's GMO. That's how they bake the food. That's how they cook the food. That's how they bake the chips or whatever. In that thing, they dip it in it, they cook it in it, and then they give it to you. That's literally feces. That's why the insects don't even eat rapeseed oil. I mean rapeseed. The seed itself, or cool seed is another one. The insects don't eat it because they know it ain't real. Just like how insects don't eat McDonald's. Fungus doesn't even eat McDonald's. You could just leave it there 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. You can Google that. And can you imagine if you eat that, what type of things will be in your body? Because those things are pollution and polluted. And you shouldn't be eating those things in the first place. So it says here, verse 19, behold. So Luke 10:19, behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions, and those are our people. The scorpions are the Israelites, and the serpents are they're just people. They're just people against Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because it's not just specifically Israelites, but the scorpions are Israelites. As you can see that here. And the serpents are, like I said, is everybody actually. The serpents, be as wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Because I send you in the midst of of wolves, and the other one, what's the other one? Swine and wolf, something like that. And you are as a lamb. But anyway, I'm looking for something in my head while talking. Now Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 6. And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them. Let me start at 5. And they, I start at 3. Ezekiel 2 and 2. 2 and 3. And he said unto me, the Most High said unto Ezekiel, son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that had rebelled against me, which are the so-called Negros, Latinos, and Indianos. For anybody that be walking by thinking I'm talking about those people in those Amalekites right now in Israel. To a rebellious nation that had rebelled against me, they and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this day, very day. For they are impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahweh the power. And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall know that there had been a prophet among them. And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words. Though briars and thorns be with thee, and thou dost dwell among scorpions, man. Those are the Jacob descendants. The serpents are the heathen nations, but you have serpents among our people too. Jeremiah 5 and 26 or 23, one of those. I think it was 26, where it says that among my people are found wicked men. They lay snares and like a trapster, they trap you and all that type of stuff. So let me read it again. And thou dost dwell among scorpions. Be not afraid of their words. Scorpions can't talk. That's an Israelite. He's a scorpion. So it says here, be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. And thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. For they are most rebellious. And rebellious is as the sin of witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. But I'll tell you one thing, for example. Let me read on 8. But thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like that rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat that which I give thee. Right. So, Yahweh Tazah, we're not rebellious unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You know, and I have to say another thing also concerning about rebellion. It is known no man can have two masters, because if you have one master, you will rebel against the other, and you're not going to listen to him, because you're going to be like, fuck you, man, I don't respect you. And then therefore you stay with Yahweh Bashem, you stay with the other master. But the Lord Yahweh Shai said, hey, no, you have no master. There's but one master, but the Lord Yahweh Shai. And certain people might not understand that, and then, you know, they think themselves to be your master. That's no. You shouldn't be in that position. You shouldn't be in that mindset, because it shows you right here. 1 Peter chapter 3, I think it was 5 actually. 1 Peter 5 and 2. Feed the flock of the Most High Yahweh, which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. Verse 3. Neither as being lords over the Heavenly Father's heritage, but being examples to the flock. So be an example to the flock instead of a lord. Because the Most High said in the book of James, chapter 3, verse 1, 3 verse 1, it says here, my brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. So don't try to be that, man. Esau's trying to be that to the utmost. And then when you're trying to chin check your, not chin check like physically, I mean when you're trying to checkmate your household, and then Esau wants to step in talking about, nah man, she needs to listen to me. And what happens, for example, with your wife, for example, just for an example, right? What are they gonna do if you if you lay rules in the house and stuff like that, right? She don't want to listen. But when it's at her job, she gonna listen. If the guy tells her like, listen, you can't come to the job with dressing like that, you need to dress more formal or whatever, you need to dress like this and that, and she will do it. She will not backbite and all that there, because she's looking at him like he's the leader, he's the top guy, he's the master basically. And then therefore when they come to you, you're not in authority, so they're not gonna want to listen to you. You know, you have certain women like that. Yeah, the same thing goes for men. They're not gonna listen to you. You know, and you shouldn't force them either. You know, you don't have to force a person to go to a party or to go have fun and stuff like that. If you have to force a person to actually stay up in the scriptures, you know, and it's not for them, man. You know, some people you help because you see like they want to, but they struggle with certain things, and you help them and stuff like that. But after 2 or 3 years, you know, and they're still lining up or whatever like that, you're looking at this thing like, anyway, Most High knows your how you call it? The thoughts is the thought that counts, right? So the Most High knows what you're thinking and how you actually analyze things and stuff like that. And then, hey, and you deal with that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me go on. Now it says here, Luke chapter 10, verse 20. No, start at 19. Behold, I give you power to tread on serpents and on scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Right. So we're not, the elect is not going to be hurt. Let's just say that the elect of the Heavenly Father is not going to be hurt. Right. Notwithstanding, and just rejoice not that the spirits are subject unto you, but rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven, in the book of life. That's why you should actually rejoice. Don't rejoice about the power that you have and all that type of stuff. You know, them power hungry people. You know, hey man, do this, walk the plank and stuff like that. Don't worry too much about that. Worry about the fact that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai took his precious time to basically write your name in the book of life. You know, and then be content with that. I shall not want. I don't need anything else. You know what I'm saying? All you need is a support system, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And other than that, you don't need anybody. Right? Or anything. Because this world wants to make you dependable on other things. That's why if the store shut down, where are you going to get your food from? Back in the days, people had lands. You had farmers, then you could go to them. But nowadays, what's happening? People will say like, yeah, that food is not sanitized. You don't know what you're talking about. Because that same food is what they take and then they put it in the supermarket with a package around it. And now you think it's full of hygiene and stuff like that. That's even worse. Many hands have touched it. Many things, many processes it went through and stuff like that. You rather get your food from a farmer or things like that instead of the supermarket, man. You know? Then you support the farmer at the same time because he's the one that feeds you. The farmers are the ones that feed you, but people look down upon farmers. Like, oh, they're poor and they dress messed up. That's because he's working all day. You know? So, if you have a farmer in your facility where you are at and stuff like that, you know, show them some support concerning your food system. You know, because they need it. Because the government is trying to screw them over. And then therefore, now you're going to have to depend on the government to get your food. And you know what they're going to put up in your food? GMO. So now you're going to start getting lumps and stuff like that. You're going to be all lumped up. And you're going to ask yourself, like, where did I get this? I'm not even smoking cigarettes. It's because you're eating their food. Anyway, let me go on. So it says here. Luke chapter 10, verse 21. In that hour Yahushua rejoiced in spirit and said, I thank thee, O Father, power of heaven, Lord of heaven and earth, that thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. Even so, Father, for so it seemed good in thy sight. Because the Most High is the one that actually makes the lower class actually wake up. I got a scripture on that too. Wait. So it says right here, the low ones, the meek, the ones that are not seen high. James chapter 1 verse. There's another scripture concerning degrees and stuff like that. No, James chapter 1 verse 9. That the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted, but the rich in that he is made low. Because as the flower of the grass, he shall pass away. Because what do they have? They have a beautiful life that everybody be looking up to or toward and stuff like that. Everybody want to be like them. Everybody want to walk, talk, bark like them. But you don't want to bend over like them, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people do want to bend over like them. That's why they seek to go into Hollyweird, even though they know a lot of things about Hollyweird. It's full of Satanism, man. Once you go there, that's why a lot of people, when they are young and then they go up in Hollyweird, they turn out bugged out on drugs. Look at Justin Bieber right about now. If you look at the videos in the beginning, how he looks so on a fresh youth and stuff like that. And now, look at him now. He's all tatted up, looking all fucked up. You don't want to be in his shoes anymore, you know what I'm saying? But in the beginning, a lot of people wanted to be in his shoes, man. You know, a lot of young guys, any nation, a lot of females wanted to be with him, you know? They don't want to be with him now. Look at him. He look all messed up. He look like he on drugs. Just type in his recent pictures and stuff like that. You're going to start wishing like them. I wish I never wanted to be like him in the first place. That's what you're going to be wishing, you know? So why? Because after a while being in that Hollywood, after a while of being there, you're going to start seeing the cracks just showing themselves. All the child actresses and actors, all of them have a messed up life. They die like a flower when the sun hits it, you know? But the man of Yahushua is going to stay near that water, so they're always going to be watered. Psalms chapter 1 verse. This will happen with the men of the Lord that stay with Yahushua. Proverbs 1:1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standing in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of Yahweh, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. You stick to it, man. Just stay day and night in the scriptures. You ain't got nothing to do, hit the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Don't study too much because it's worry. So you need a distraction. You need to just, go out there or just watch a movie or something like that, or just do anything that pleases you. But it needs to be a good thing. You can't just go out there doing demonic stuff because it pleases you. But anyway, so it says here, verse 3, Psalms 1 and 3. So it says here, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water. So that drought is not going to hit you. You're going to have that water, man. You're going to be like a tree planted near water, which going to make you prosperous, man. You're going to have the fruits in due season, You're You're going to have your fruits in due season. Yeah. You're going to have your growth sprout. You know, you might be stagnant around other people or something like that. You know, people that don't motivate you. And then you need to move around and go around people that do motivate you. You know, or take motivation from people that are outside abroad. Yeah. So it says here that bringeth forth fruit in his season, his leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. So it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to prosper in Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. You're not going to be dried up like a beautiful plant. In James chapter 1 verse. James chapter 1 verse 9. No. 10. But the rich in that he is made low, because as the flower of the grass he shall pass away. That's what's going to happen with the people that have this beautiful life. The life is going to be sucked out of them through the heat of the sun. And that heat of the sun is the wisdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. Because once a lot of these celebrities found out that they've been doing Satan stuff since they was young, they start bugging out. Look, Amanda Baines, Justin Bieber, you know, look at him now. He's not living a beautiful life. You probably don't want to be like him right now. Anyway, so let me go back to where I was. Luke chapter 10. Verse 22. All things are delivered to me of the Father, and no man knoweth who the Son is but the Father, and who the Father is but the Son, and he to whom the Son will reveal himself. Sorry, let me read that part. And he to whom the Son will reveal him. So, the Son is going to reveal the Most High unto you, and the Most High is going to reveal the Son unto you. Without one, you cannot have either. You need to have both. If you got Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, then that's the complete vessel. You know, people might say you can't have two masters. You can't have the Lord Yahweh Shai, and you can't have the Most High. They don't understand the mechanism how that works. Because because you pray to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Why? Yahweh Shai is the one that took your beatings. So therefore you need to be thankful unto him. He's the atonement. He's like the embodiment of the Ark of the Covenant. So when you're sorry that you committed something against the Most High, he's that lawyer. And then he will be now we are espoused unto him. Back in the days we were married unto the Lord, but our people committed adultery against Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. Then he kicked us to the curb, you know, and then he sent his son Yahweh Shai, and then therefore now you're married unto him, right? That's how it works. You're married unto the Lord Yahweh Shai. You're espoused unto the Lord Yahweh Shai, right? Because of the adultery that we committed. So the Most High is angry, and now he comes and brings us back to through his son. So he sends his son to come and basically establish the marriage, which means joined together. So the elect is going to be joined with Yahweh Bashem Yahshai in the near future. So what's happening right now? All the prophecies is coming to pass to show you that the downfall of this queendom is actually very near. That's why they're fighting. That's why they're trying to get America back in its greatness again, because it's not. It fell and it's falling. It's still falling. Babylon is falling. It's tumbling real good, dude. You could say it's tumbling right now. You know, it's busy with that fall. It's a very slow fall, and at the end it's going to be fast and then crash, boom, bash. You know what I'm saying? So it says here, Luke chapter 10, verse 23. And he turned him unto his disciples, and he turned him unto his disciples and said privately, Blessed are the eyes which see the things that ye see. For I tell you, that many prophets and kings have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. Yeah, they haven't seen it, but they wanted to see it. But the rest of the people, their eyes is dull, you know, because they can't see. You know, their mind is dull. They can't see. It's like a knife that is dull. You know, it's a knife, but it can't cut. It's useless. You know, it's like salt without the flavor. It's useless. You're just adding stuff to the food, but you ain't tasting nothing. It's useless. So you throw that salt away. Salt that has no flavor, you throw it away. Why you got it for? Right? What you got that for? First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. The Most High didn't need to write it. He said it also in the book of Acts chapter 1. Let me get that real quick. Act 1 and 6. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? Because they wanted the kingdom right back then and there. They didn't want to go back and forth and stuff like that with the heathen nations, which in that time was the Romans that ruled over them. It was like, nah, we don't want to share the kingdom with you. Are you going to restore the kingdom back to Jacob? You know? And so that we can go into our own land, so that we have our own food, our own water, and our own housing and our own land, so we don't have to go to the goddamn supermarket with the food that is literally here out to destroy you. Makes you fat, you know, keeps you small and short too. That's what your GMO food can do. If you type in Google GMO mice, so GMO fed mice, that shit'll make you small. Your children gonna be small, looking like children. Your children looking like children, which are not supposed to be looking like children. They're supposed to be looking like adults and bigger than you, you know, but they look like a bunch of children. Why? Because food affects a lot of people different, of course, because look at Ronnie Coleman, was the bodybuilder guy. He injected and used the same amounts of and the same products of steroids, but only he got bigger. You have a lot of people that eat the same McDonald's, but only that one gets fat. You know, because your genetics is a little bit stronger, I would say, so you can burn even delusional food. And when I say delusional food, that thing ain't even real. It's a figment of your imagination. It's not even real. Fungus doesn't even eat certain things that Esau creates in a laboratory. You know, he got like plastic food and stuff like that. Yeah, but to the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the Jacob descendants are still walking around. Even the heathen nations are still walking around. You know, being able to just do things and stuff like that. But they're not getting sick. They're being poisoned. There's a difference. Yeah, it's a very big difference between getting sick and being poisoned. Sick is just by accident, you know, or, you know, you just messed around. Poison, yeah, that's what you'd be getting from Esau. Anyway, Acts chapter 1, verse 6. When they would therefore come together, they asked of him, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father had put in his own power, but ye shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost is come upon you. And ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria, which is the 12 tribes collectively, and unto the uttermost parts of the world, earth. And that's what we're doing right now. Whether it be you are, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to make sure that this word is going to come out. It doesn't matter if there's 2 or 3 listening. It doesn't matter. All you need to do is go out there, do your thing. And I got multiple channels on multiple platforms as well, because on YouTube, my things are being shadow banned, which I already knew. I ain't got no problem with that. It's irritating because I do want to get them back for all the things that they're doing, trying to hold back this word. But it's like this. They want to shut you down. They want to keep you quiet, you know? They want to make you not be able to talk. Once you see that in a person, like, oh, you want to shut me up, that's about the time that you should be thinking, like, man, you need to be killed for that shit, man. Because what you want to do is you want to block the word. And then you have this one over here, which has there was something, which has this here, what was that? And forbid him not. Luke chapter 9, verse 50. And Yahushua said, oh, let me start at the other one. Luke chapter 9, verse 49. And John answered and said, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name, and we forbid him, because he followed not with us. And Yahushua said unto him, forbid him not, for he is not against us. Well, let me read it again. And Yahushua said unto him, forbid him not, for he that is not against us is for us. So Esau is trying to stop you from spreading this word out. He's trying to hinder you. So the Most High is going to get him for that. And you have Jacob descendants doing the same thing too. I remember this Jacob descendant. He told me a while ago, like a very long time ago, man. I dared him to do that shit, but he didn't do it. Anyway, he said like, yeah, man, you need to be stopped spreading this Israelite thing amongst our people, because he was on the Rastafari tip. I'm like, what have you done for your people lately? What did you do? After I was done with him, he was crying. I didn't touch him. I explained a few things to him. He's like, yeah, man, you're right, man. I shouldn't have done that. But in the beginning, he wanted to fight. Because he a knucklehead. Lord willing, his ass got softened. Just like how the heart of the king was softened when he went against Esther. When he wanted to kill Esther. So, Ezra 4 and 5. Let's start at 4. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building, because they was building the physical temple from Zerubbabel when he came out of Babylon. Yeah, so they wanted to stop them from building the temple so that they will not be established anymore. First Ezra chapter, I think 2 or 3. 2 or 3. It explains to at the end. It explains to you that they didn't want them to build the temple to establish themselves and then therefore start to get that power again in that fort so that they can protect themselves, because they knew once the Israelites did that, they would go to war with everybody up in the facility, and then they're going to exact tribute upon them, because that is what the Jacob descendants did back in the days. They was warring against each other, but they was warring against everybody around them too. That's how we got up in the land. We was warring. The book of Joshua, we was warring against them. Everybody and anybody that came that was allowed to be smoked, that we smoked them. Ammon wasn't allowed to be smoked, so we didn't. And Esau wasn't allowed to be smoked either, so we didn't do that neither. But the Canaanites, they got up out of there, man. You know, even the Philistines, which is Mizraim, they were attacked continually, but the Most High used them to come and punish us, man. The Most High brought them all the way from Captor, which is an island, among their Captorian brethren. The Most High brought them from there all the way to the land of Canaan, and then they established Philistia, and then they stayed there, and the Most High kept them there in order for, once we start going off, he knew we was going to go off. So he knew, like, hey, once they start going off, I'm going to unleash these Philistines upon you. And they were giants, man. They were big. So anyway, Ezra 4 and 5, and hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose. So that's what they're doing, man. They're frustrating the purpose. What is the purpose? Spreading this truth out there. That's why I said you need to have multiple accounts, man, on different platforms. Then you're going to see, like over there, they're stopping you with the views, because you want a lot of people to see this so that they have no cloak for the sins, right? To frustrate their purpose. But then again, this is only for the elect, so it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. Lord willing, I stay right here on YouTube, so it doesn't matter what they do, right? So it says here, all the days of Cyrus, king of Persia, until the reign of Darius, king of Persia. Darius the Mede, and Cyrus the Persian. Anyway, going back to Luke 9 and 4D, where was it? I already read that. Right, so going back to right, Acts already read that. And Matthew 24 and 3. Because like I was saying, we in that time right now. Matthew 24 and 3. And he, Yahushua, sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? We in that time right now, man. You see them signs of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua coming. You know? You see the things that are being done. You see the things that are being said by Esau, right? Under the establishment of Trumpy, that warmonger, that war starter. You know, it's funny as hell that he's actually up in seat right now because Donald, if you look up the meaning of the word Donald, it's a funny name. It's a funny meaning. It's a funny name too because I was thinking about Donald Duck when I saw him in the first time. You don't hear people that are named Donald. But yeah, it's a funny name. Meaning. Donald means a great chief or ruler or king of the world. That's what Donald means. So that's funny as hell, man. And Trump also means something like he's the trickery king of the world because Trump means Trump, it means an name meaning. Wait. You also have something with his trumped up charges, which is falsified. So he's the great falsifying. He's the great falsifying ruler of this world. He lies a lot, man. That's why I laugh at him. You know, everything he says is funny to me. Sometimes he gets serious. I be like, hey, wait a minute, need to bust more jokes. Just lie so I can laugh. I think it was Donald John Trump or something like that. I think his second name is John. Wait, let me do this. Yeah, John. John is toilet. Back in the days, John meant toilet. Not trying to be disrespectful. It's just an English definition of the word. Yeah, John means toilet, but only in 1932. You know, that's just a slang because that's not the meaning of the name. Because because the prophet, the apostle John, prophet John, apostle John. It does mean toilet. A John, but these are slang words, man. It's a prostitute's client. Hey, look at them Johns over there, right? But anyway, let me go on. Going back to where was I? Matthew 24 and 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. Yeah, you have a lot of these Jacob descendants out here trying to deceive people. Some will succeed, many will succeed, sorry, and some will break free out of it, or not get caught up in the first place, you know, because you have a lot of lovey-dovey Israelites and lovey-dovey doctrine that's all about love and all spread whatever so-called equality. That's the biggest bullshit upon the planet Earth. There is no such thing as equality. I'm not as fast as Mike Hussein Bolt. I'm not as strong as Mike when he was 19 and stuff like that. Even now, I don't know. I ain't trying to fight Mike. I'm not Will Smith. I can't act like Will Smith. I can't sing like Mike. So I'm talking about Michael Jackson. But the thing is, no man is equal upon the planet Earth, man. I know what they're talking about that, and talking about equal of rank and your societal so-called equality and stuff like that. That's also bullshit, because the elites, you have, why do you have an upper class, middle class, low class, and beneath the low class, man? Those are the people that are homeless. They're being seen as feces. Where's the equality there? You know? So that's just a facade that the elite put in track, and then they teach you to regurgitate their nonsense. Meanwhile, they don't live like that. For example, they tell you to stop using planes and stuff like that, but they fly in on their private jets to tell you not to use so many so-called exhaustions things. Meanwhile, they got the technology to have you run a car that will never deplete. You know? They got the technology that can have you running electricity in your house that will never deplete. You know, they have those things. They had it and they have it still until this day. They even have it worse now. I mean, better, greater, more powerful and stuff like that. That's why a lot of people that come up with a car that runs off of infinite energy, that's why those people come up missing. Attempts being made on their lives. Why? Because Esau doesn't want that technology to get out there. He wants to keep people dumbed down, and he wants to keep you what he says, like in the Stone Age and stuff like that. You know, because they don't want you to be independent off of the government. They want you to depend on them. That's how you. That's how a pimp controls his bitches. You know, he makes them dependent on them, and that's how the government is doing with the people. You know, but their first main target is the Israelites. See, they don't care about the poor of their own people. If you look at the scriptures, you will see history repeats itself. It was the elites of Jacob that was actually against the lower class. Look at, for example, Jeremiah chapter 34. It was the elites of Jacob that was actually breaking their balls. The average Israelite, they was fucking them up. They was taking their money. They was using usury. They was scheming on them. They was doing all kind of shit that you would think like, man, now I understand when the Most High allowed the Babylonians to come and beat the shit out you. Why? Because you were doing it among your own people. So now the Most High is going to make it racially, you know? And he's going to do it with another nation. Now you're going to complain talking about, yo, haters. But y'all haters at yourselves. Until this day, Jacob descendants is fighting each other for the skin tone or for the hair textures and stuff like that, you know? Until this day, they got shit to say. And who's doing it? Which side is doing it? And whose side is doing it? The one that glorifies the rapist side of their family. Those are the ones that are doing it. The others are reacting. Like me, I'm reacting. Right? So, going on. But I pray the Most High get rid of you motherfuckers, man. You know? Get rid of your kind. It's kind of fucking irritating. But you gotta sit there and look at these type of people, and you can't lop their heads off. You know? Shit. But it's all good, man. Because, like I said, if you understand the scriptures, you would see like, okay, upside down. Okay, I understand. Anyway, going on. Matthew 24 and 5, 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. We're hearing wars and rumors of wars, and we're not troubled. We're not supposed to be troubled. You're not supposed to be afraid. You need to just move on with the path that you're on. Keep it moving in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Don't worry too much about what people have to say. You know, I would say don't worry at all. Lord willing, I'm not worried at all about what anybody has to say. I don't give a shit. I literally don't care, man. You got something to say? Cool cat. Keep on talking. I'm not listening. You know, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. That already happened, and now it's going to happen again. You know, because they're going to persecute you. People of your own family. It's most of the time is the ones that are close to you are your biggest enemies, because they know about your intimate works. They've been around just like a bunch of bitches. For example, most of the time when you break up with your girl, the animosity between you and your girl is bigger than an animosity between you and a person that you fought on the street. Why? Because she been close. So now if the betrayal is thick, as even might be thicker than another person. If the betrayal is thick, it doesn't even have to be thick. If there's a form of betrayal, you're going to want to actually harm her more than you would harm a stranger that would have done the same thing. Because after a while, it's all done and said and done. You know, you go on with your life. But if a person that's close to you or was close to you did some shit, it's going to be harder to actually look past that shit, because you're going to be like, motherfucker, why did you do that? And then you're going to want to harm them, you know, because they harmed you. That's how shit is, man. A person that, you know, is close to you, that harms you or does something to you, You're gonna be with more vengeance, man. You're gonna be like, fuck this guy. How dare you do that shit, man? And then you're gonna react, man. It's gonna be a very bothersome type of spirit that you're gonna have toward that person. You know? And that's exactly what's been happening upon the planet Earth. So, and that's exactly what we did unto Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. We were supposed to be close, like a wife, and then we committed adultery by going to other gods and stuff like that. And then the Most High was like, what? I'm gonna do you something. And that's what happened, man. But through the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, the Most High forgave us by sending His Son, and therefore we need to worship His Son. Because He's the one that took the beating for us, which we all individually deserve. So going up Matthew 24, and no, I'm already done with that. Going on, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1. No, I'll just go to 8. A time of love and a time of hate, a time of war and a time of peace. We are in the time of love right now. Why? Love for the nation of Jacob. And we are also in the time of hate. Hate for the Jacob, hate for the ones that love and evil and hate good. You hate them, you know. Esau wants to talk about hate the sin, not the sinner. Fuck that. The Most High hate the sinner. He's not about that nonsense and stuff like that, you know. Because on YouTube right now, which this is going on YouTube, you can't say the word pedophile. That's why I'm not sponsored. Why? Because if you have that, then you can't say nothing about that, because they're going to take your videos down, or they're going to flag you because they want you to use little fancy words and stuff like that. Hell no. I use them hurtful words, you know, from time to time. The hurtful words are, for example, a female that's on OnlyFans talking about, oh, I'm a sex worker. No, you're a prostitute. No, you shouldn't say that. Why? Because they're not going to admit. I know it hurts. You know it hurts. You know what I'm saying? So, and guess what? You're a prostitute, and that is what you are. But you don't want to hear that word. You want to hear, I'm a sex worker. You know you're not a sex worker. You're a prostitute, a whore, and that's what it is. But they understand the shame that comes with that word, so they're trying to minimize that shame, and then therefore use the word sex worker. No. I'll pull your bitch ass back to reality. Get down here, like Scorpion, and show you the real word. And that shows you that you are ashamed of that word, because it hurts. You know? The sex worker makes you feel good about yourself. Like, everybody has sex and you're just working. No, you're a prostitute. You lift up your legs. That's not a work. That's not a job. You know? You do work, but that's not a job. The only work that you do is spread your legs and use plastic on yourself, or get pounded out. Anyway, a time of love and a time of hate, a time of war and a time of peace. We are in the time of war right now. What war? The world is at war, but we are in that war, that spiritual warfare, you know? The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but spiritual, to the pulling down of strongholds. One of the strongholds are everybody can be saved. One of the other strongholds are flying reindeers and bunnies that lay eggs. One of the other strongholds are, you know, you're African, stuff like that. Those are the strongholds that Esau laid down, and you have Jacob descendants pushing forward that stronghold. Because what did the Most High do? What did Esau do? He pulled out the hatred that's within you, and then spread it on forward. Because I did a video a long time ago. I'm about to go revisit that video. I've been revisiting that video slightly from time to time, but not fully. I didn't fully go up in it. But anyway, Esau brought out that hatred that the tribes have within each other, and it's more of a colorism thing, right? So you have the, I'm gonna say it in proper order. You have the light skin versus the dark skin war. It's not the dark skin versus the light skin war. That's not how that shit works. Because like I always say, the dark skinned Jakes, they're gonna actually complement their hair, they're gonna complement their skin and stuff like that, but it's not the other way around. So it's the light versus dark. Who started it? It's Esau started that shit, and he did that thing there in South America. That's why South America is one of the worst places that thing is still going on concerning the Jacob descendants and stuff like that. That's really happening over there until this day, 2025. But who started it? Esau. But what did he do? He put the other ones in the house, or put them above you, and then they started to fucking feel themselves. They started to feel themselves like, yeah, I got the best of both worlds. I got the greasiness of Jake, and I got the looks of Esau. So I'm gonna get ahead and all that type of stuff, right? in the society and in the world, and then they use that to their advantage, and then use it against you. That's the point. But who started it? It's Esau. Esau is the ones that jump started that thing, and he pulls the extremism from within them. It's already in them. He just pulls it out and just lays it up on the card because that is his natural state. His natural status is to start some stuff, provoke some stuff. That's why I hate people that provoke. I can't stand them. You know what I'm saying? Instead of defusing the situation, because the scripture says, blessed are the peacemakers. You know what I'm saying? Esau's not a peacemaker, man. And some clown ass jakes are not peacemakers neither. Most High, anyway. Most High says blessed are the peacemakers, because unto them belongeth, what was it again? Blessed are the peacemakers, right? In order, blessed is the peacemaker. What's that again? Yeah, Matthew chapter 5, verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of the Most High. The ones that are the peacemakers are the children of the Most High, man. The ones that are provokers, and death unto you, man. Yahweh Shem Yahshai, man. Like, for real. I'm angry, man. I'm very angry. Anyway, provokers, provokers unto anger. If you see a person gets provoked off of you, why you keep on going? You shouldn't do that, man. One day you're going to meet somebody that's going to really harm you. You test, you die. So don't be testing people. It's not a good thing. You shouldn't be around people that love to provoke people, like poking. It's like poking a bear or a lion or a tiger behind them bars. Once them bars open up, poke him. You don't have to poke him. He's loose now. He's going to get you. So don't poke people. Don't poke people, especially if you know that they're aggressive. Don't do that. A soft word taketh away wrath. The Heavenly Father explains to you, speak soft to them. Take away wrath. Let me get that here. A soft word. It says here, Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. If you think you're going to talk tough to him, he's already angry. Well, you're doing it unto yourself. You're lumping up heat for yourself, man. You're lumping up coal for yourself, because he's going to turn into lava. He's going to pass flames. He's going to turn into lava, and he's going to try to melt you, because you think you're tough. Don't think you're tough. The book of Ecclesiastes 3, and there's always somebody tougher than someone, man. All the great warriors upon the planet Earth. Somebody came and knocked them off of their seat. Eventually somebody else is going to come and replace you. So don't try to be the tough guy, man. Same thing with women too. You think you're beautiful, somebody else is going to come around and is more beautiful than you, and then you're going to lose it. You're going to lose your position. Then you might turn bitter. That's why there's this movie with I think Demi Moore. She calls herself Demi Moore. I don't know, Demi Moore, whatever. With that movie, I forgot the movie name. Demi Moore or something like that. Demi Moore movie. Can't even spell it right. Demi Moore. Substance. I think it's Substance. Yeah, this movie. She's trying to get herself to be young, and then she gonna find herself because the younger model come up and basically is gonna do numbers, and you ain't. Well, so it's the same thing with men. We're trying to be this ultimate warrior, because it's not a good idea. Esau's trying to be that ultimate warrior right now. That's why he's falling. That's why he's losing all his grip upon society. But he's gonna get his grip back. And this time it's going to be by force, because Revelation 12:12, it says, what was it again? The devil has come down onto you having great wrath, because he knoweth he had but a short time. So guess what? Esau is going to come and like a madman spare nobody, man. He's not going to spare people. He's already doing it right now. Why is the rent getting higher? You're not getting more money, and like your salary is not climbing up, but the rent is getting higher, and the house is getting older. You got mold in your house. You still have to pay a fee like a thick fee too, at that. You know. Meanwhile, everything is getting older and older, but you need to pay more and more. So he's already crumbling the people in their pockets and stuff like that. People can do what they want to do. Remember this chick that used to go to the Aspens all the time? Yeah, some kind of rich chick. You know, used to go to the Aspen often. Every winter time they would go there. She was started complaining to me, man. Like, I can't go to the Aspens no more. You know, I can't, like, somewhere in Sweden or something like that. I don't know. I never been there. That's not my style. It's an Edomite chick, by the way. But anyway, she said like she can't go no more. Sometimes we had conversations, you know, poking out stuff. I'm poking out information. I just know the girl. But anyway, she says she can't go there no more. Why? Because everything is getting more expensive. I was already looking at it like the fact that you was going there every year shows that you had money to burn and stuff like that. But now she can't do it no more. You know, so that's funny. Anyway, so the book of Acts and Matthew. So what's happening right now with Esau's world? This is happening. Now the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. That's what's happening right now. Modern day Babylon is America. And America is falling because Babylon means confusion. And what's in America? Total confusion, right? They don't know what the hell is going on. They just passed a law here in England also talking about that now a man is officially not a woman anymore. They need a law for that. You know how hilarious that is, man? They need a law. You know how hilarious that is? You need a law to tell you that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. You need a law to tell you. Okay, check. That's just backwards. Anyway, Jeremiah 51 and 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. All for her, take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. That's why they're trying to make America great again, because it's not. It's falling. Every empire fell. You know, the Egyptian empire. You had the Greek, Roman, the Medo-Persian Empire. You had the Babylonian Empire, the ancient one, with Nebuchadnezzar, which I was just reading about in Daniel 4. He fell. Before he fell, he acknowledged the Heavenly Father. You know, but still, that's what's happening right now. They're falling, and they're known as Sodom and Egypt in the scriptures. Which Egypt is Mizraim. Egypt is the Greek equivalent of Mizraim. Well, they just called it that. But anyway, so Babylon is falling, but they want to heal it. They want to patch it up and stuff like that, you know. What do they call it? And Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty fell and couldn't get back up because he was in pieces. It's not how it goes, but that's what it is. I don't know how it goes anyway. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall. Something like that. I don't know. He fell and he died. That's the point. That's what's happening right now. Because the society is just crumbling from within. It's like how you call that thing? It's like an explosion from within. You know, the infrastructure is being destroyed from within, so it starts crumbling from within. It looks good on the outside, you know, just like the rich man looks it's like a beautiful flower until the sun hits it. What am I looking for?